Karina's gonna have a field day with all this. Me and Amberlynn.
Nurse, clear my schedule.
Hello, everybody. Today's video for the low introductory price sale of absolutely nothing. You heard it here last. We're going to take a look at a photo of Twinkie from Amber's members only stream. And we're going to discuss, as well as Amber is trying to get into the Discord that is actually like streaming her members only live streams or like talking about it. It's a wonderful time to be alive, girls. I feel like a girl of 2021 again. Also, Foodie Beauty is pretty much done with her husband.
Thanks for nothing.
She's back in Canada. She's no longer with him. Wow. No one could have predicted this. All right, it's a wonderful time to be alive. If you could not tell already by this ridiculous intro, everything I'm saying is just for entertainment purposes only. Nothing is meant to be taken seriously. I'm sharing my own opinions, not facts, and publicly accessible information, first made public by public figures. Please do not go to these people's channels and leave mean-spirited, negative, discouraging, disparaging comments. Entertainment purposes only. Okay, this is a new picture of Twinkie, Amber's dog, long-suffering dog. This is the most updated new picture because, I'm sorry, as Hans Christian Amberlynn would say, picture. So this is the updated picture from Twinkie and Amber's members only live stream picture. So basically this picture is concerning. She's not in a healthy place. She's not in a good place. Amber, this is your fault. You are 100% to blame for this. You want to do whatever you want to do for your life, that's fine. Why is it that people that mistreat their animals just like really like have to do it? Like, I just don't even understand. Okay, first of all, you left Twinkie shaking in pain. You're responsible for two animals, in my opinion, running away multiple times. Gracie, Destiny's cat, and Rarity running away multiple times. And now you're getting a new cat, possibly. But what about Twinkie? What are you doing to Twinkie? Recently she said she was at the vet. She doesn't tell you why she's at the vet. This is what I believe. When Twinkie eventually passes on or whatever, something really negative happens, Amber won't tell you right away because of course, Queen, the most entertaining YouTuber in the world, amberlynn reid, doesn't tell people right away when something happens to her animals. She only said that, her pet best friend cat Rarity ran away because people were finding on reaction channels were talking about it. So obviously Twinkie is like, this photo of Twinkie is concerning, just like the older picture of Twinkie was concerning. You are obviously putting Twinkie in a harmful situation and you're not helping her be the healthiest self that she could be. And I'm not at all surprised at this type of behavior. Amber, you should not be allowed to adopt or get any more animals. Unfortunately, she is getting another cat. What about Twinkie? Also, has anyone even thought about how Wasabi, her other cat, that's the only one left, sole survivor over there from the cat family, and Twinkie, how will they adjust to Amber getting a new cat? Because she said in her, members only live stream, she's probably getting a new cat. Like, how will they adjust to this new kitten? How are you going to take care of this new kitten when you can't take care of yourself? Right? Okay, your tooth fell out. You said, I didn't think anything of it. Okay, so the point is, I feel really bad for Twinkie. It's just a shame that Twinkie was not rehomed. Obviously, she's not healthy. She's not in a healthy place in her life. And clearly, in my opinion, Amber's not doing anything about it. The other thing that I wanted to discuss is Amber pretty much wants to infiltrate the Discord that watches her members only live streams and discusses it, okay? There were numerous times, I just didn't get a chance to talk about this yesterday, from her members only live stream from this Tuesday. There were numerous times throughout her live streams where people would bring up the Discord and she would make jokes, and she did imply highly, well, she actually said, oh, what if I infiltrate the Discord? Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do it, whatever. This is pretty much the vibe of her live stream yesterday. So she explained to the audience, which a lot of us already know, there's a Discord where, somebody, I don't know who pays, somebody pays, and then they all discuss, so that everybody doesn't have to go and pay her, right? One person pays in the Discord, they, share what's going on and discuss it so that they don't have to pay Amber directly for her members only live stream. Really gold, amazing, fantastic content that Hans Christian Amberlynn is putting up. Okay, clearly she's upset about this. Can I blame her? Well, no, but also, Amber, here's the thing. What did you expect? Did you think that everyone that wants to see your members only live streams in the situation where you got to pay $10 if you're in the US and way more if you're in other countries to even see it? Did you really think that everyone in your audience was going to do that? First of all, even if you have an audience that genuinely enjoys your content and has like a good relationship with a YouTuber, a lot of people just cannot afford an extra $10 a month, which I completely understand. And in other countries, it's more than $10 a month. Okay, it's like 14 or 15 or 13. This is a math channel. My point here is this. Even if you have a fantastic relationship with your audience, a lot of people cannot join memberships, and some people can. And, it depends on how many people you have. Think about how greedy this is. She's lucky enough to have at least 600 members. By the way, somebody asked her in her members only live stream. They asked her, they said, hey, did your members, did the memberships decrease when you were gone? She's claiming that it increased. Yeah, okay, because we believe honest Hans Christian amberlynn. I don't believe her, but it doesn't really matter, okay? So she's lucky enough to have at least 600 members, and she's getting, look, if you want to know how she's paying her bills, it's through the memberships. It's not through the plethora of videos that she's not uploading. She just didn't upload for like 9 days, then posted one video. Wow, let's go to the bank with my frog. My point of the story is she's lucky enough to have the 600 people, right? To pay her bills, like $10 a month. And she's still not happy because other people don't pay for it, right? Okay. And they just get the tea from somebody else. Now, that's not the point. That's what's leading up to the point. Look, why am I talking to you about her wanting to infiltrate the Discord and making little jokes about it? Oh, I'm not serious. I'm paraphrasing what she was saying, but you should go into the Discord or why is she even talking about this? You know why I'm bringing this up? Because she constantly says that she doesn't have any fake accounts. Remember when she was doing the Let's Talk videos and she said, amberlynn reid doesn't have fake accounts. Common sense, she does. She does have supporters. She does, but she does have fake accounts. Okay. Let's not forget that she once infiltrated a Facebook group under the name of Damian White and trashed herself and said positive things about herself. A Facebook group about herself. And she's admitted to that. There's videos on the internet about that. My point here would be that if this person once infiltrated a Facebook group about herself and trashed herself and said positive, negative things about herself, then claims that she doesn't have any sock accounts, then says that, oh, it would be fun, if I would go and infiltrate the Discord, then it's common sense that you have fake accounts. A person that doesn't have any fake accounts wouldn't even say that as a joke. Look, let me tell you something about jokes. A part of a joke is the truth and the rest is like a little bit kidding, okay? That's my opinion. Most, not 100% of jokes, but most. For her to even bring that up, of course she has fake accounts. And here's the thing. Our girl, the most entertaining, riveting girl in school, the most entertaining, amazing YouTuber, Amber, always tells on herself, and she doesn't even realize it. Amber, you don't even realize it, that you are telling on yourself. If you can even bring that up as a joke, oh, I should get into the Discord, whatever, then you 150% have fake accounts. How would you do that? How would you go about that, Amber? Because you wouldn't be doing it under your real name, right? Okay. Of course, this girl has fake accounts, and you could always spot them too. Let me know in the comments if you've spotted her fake accounts. The point of the story here is that I think that you should be more grateful that you even have members paying your bills. That's just my opinion, instead of trying to infiltrate a Discord. It's like she forgets the kind of relationship that she actually has with her audience. The majority of people didn't join because they don't have the best relationship with you. It wasn't even the money. For a lot of people, it was. But for most people, it wasn't even the money. And see, here's the thing. Let's say, okay, I'm just going to give an example. I'm not even going to use myself. Let's say any YouTuber that, for example, likes to spill tea and, whatever, or, my Kermit, let's say my Kermit, okay, my frog, decides to have a members only, whatever. Some people would join. Imagine more people would join a Kermit's members only than, my frogs than Pookie. Can I call you Pookie, Amber? But people would feel they're getting something in return. You know, a frog wouldn't be mean to you. A frog wouldn't be showing you the ceiling. A frog wouldn't be blocking people and messaging them on Instagram and saying, you know, one more, you know, peep out of you and I'm going to block you. Like, you understand? That's what she does in her live streams. She actually messaged a person and said, well, you know, I'm going to block you if you keep making jokes. Like, that's wild to me. Like, you care way too much. If you want to block people so badly, then do it. Who announces the departure of a blocking? You know, like you've been blocked or you're in the airport. Anyways, the bottom line here is, okay, I think a lot more people didn't pay for your memberships because you mistreat your members. You block them, you talk down to them, and if you want more people to join, then I think that you should be nicer to your audience, but that's probably never going to happen. But of course, our girl has fake accounts. That's why she wants to infiltrate the Discord. Let's talk about Foodie Beauty being back in Canada. So if you watched any of my videos about Foodie Beauty when she was, you know, in trouble with the country that she lived in, I did tell you, I said to you, I think I have a very strong feeling she's in Canada. It was obvious when she was also covering up her cameos and she didn't want people to see where she was at, that she was in Canada. So she says that the day that she basically found out that she was in trouble, her last live stream, that night she packed and the next day she left to Canada. She's clearly no longer with Salah. I would say, you know, like they're not living together. So technically they're still talking and they are still like in communication, right? But they are not together. Like in a real marriage that I could see. She says that she'll visit him one time from time to time and she won't say where, but him and Julia are safe. So she basically got rid of her husband. Her and her husband cannot live in Canada together, and they also can't live in Kuwait together. Congratulations, Chantal, you played yourself. Okay, so basically, before we get started with her new life in Canada, and for those of you that don't know, she had to move to Canada. She had to move back to Canada because she broke a bunch of laws in Kuwait and she was going to be arrested and all that stuff. She accepted illegal donations. So before we get to all the nonsense that she said in her main live stream back, this is the best thing that could have ever happened to you, Chantal. You should thank your lucky stars that you were intelligent enough to break all the laws in Kuwait and pretty much, you know, be sent back to Canada, be a fugitive in Canada. Like, bottom line in the situation is she stopped making money. She used to make $20,000 a month when she was in Canada and when she would produce drama and all that other stuff. And also, people were interested. Let me tell you something. When you're making money on YouTube, it doesn't matter if it's a positive or an interesting thing, but the interest is there, and so you're making money. People were not interested in you marrying a stranger and your boring nonsense that you did over there, okay? That's why she didn't get the views anymore. That's why she had such a problem with connecting with her audience and all that other stuff. At least in Canada, when she was, you know, beezing and driving around and all that stuff, people really, really, really wanted to see that type of drama when she was fighting with guys and all that other stuff. Nobody was ready for you to move away and completely, like, see, here's the thing. When she moved away, she changed her whole content. Never mind that. And by the way, when you do that, it's very hard to continuously get paid the way you used to. Here's my point. In Canada, she has her family. And in Canada, she has a better chance of everything working out for her the way that she wants. Obviously, she says in this live stream, oh, well, I'm going to say whatever I want. Well, then you need to be in Canada, okay? Like, obviously, nobody cared about your fake husband, and I don't care what she says. Like, she's like, oh, yeah, we're still in communication, and, you know, hopefully we'll see each other, whatever. They're done, okay? They're done. Chantal, if you think this man cheated on you while you were together, he cheated on her repeatedly, and I'll tell you why, because she has another video where she tells everybody that a friend of hers got cheated on, and what's the advice of the audience? Yeah, the friend was her. He's cheated on you repeatedly, from what I can tell, my opinion, based on what you've told us. So you think that even when you were there, right, you came back and he was still cheating. The idea is, don't you think that he will continue to cheat on you when he sees you once a year, twice a year? You know, she clearly abandoned Julia with him. Now she's going around saying that Julia's microchipped. I don't believe you because you hadn't gotten Julia. Whatever. I don't believe anything she says, all right? So she abandoned her cat, Julia, with her fake husband. They're no longer physically together. Like, he's living somewhere else. He's not in Canada. He's clearly not in Kuwait. She won't tell anybody where they're at because they're both. I'm sorry, both, as Hans Christian Amberlynn would say, they're both not allowed back in Kuwait because they broke a bunch of laws. She was videotaping things she shouldn't have been videotaping. She was accepting illegal donations, the whole cat drama. Okay. So she's now living in an apartment. I believe people are like trying to find or already did find where she live. I don't really advise that because I can't imagine anybody would care where she lives, but moving on. Okay, so she says that she doesn't have an air conditioner and she just has some fans because she's just like, pure laziness. She doesn't want to go and install it. And she actually says that she didn't get a car. She won't get a car. She wants to pay for a car in cash. Good luck. What, next time you live or something? Because it's never going to happen for you. It's never going to happen for you, cutie. It's never going to happen for you. Foodie Beauty Chantal told us that her aunt calls her cutie. What a appropriate name. It's beautiful. Cutie. So I'm going to call you cutie too. So anyways, cutie doesn't have AC. That will last 5.7 seconds. Summer is here. The audacity of this woman to have such serious health problems and not even understand that she definitely needs AC and she can afford it. Don't let her fool you, okay? So no car, no AC, no husband, and you're back to where you started from. If only you didn't try to show someone that other guys wanted you, and if only you didn't meet up with a complete stranger and fake marry him in Kuwait, you wouldn't even be in this situation. What an amazing arc for Cutie Beauty. So she actually fake married a stranger in another country, broke enough laws to the point where there's charges against her and she was going to be arrested, and she ran back. She came back to Canada. It's an exciting time to be alive, girls. So when you can see somebody doing something really wrong with their lives and they don't care? Okay, she's back in Canada and she won't get an AC in a car. You need these things to go where you need to go. How are you going to go to your doctor's appointments? How are you going to go anywhere? You can't constantly rely on your family and be a burden like you were a burden to your fake husband. You need to get AC. You only survived there in Kuwait because of AC. How can you live your life without an AC? Okay. She just doesn't want to, install it. Chantal, with all the copious amounts of money that you spend on nothing, you do know that you can pay someone to install your air conditioning. Okay. So just minor examples of how she's continuing to make mistakes. No AC, no car. She can get all these things, but she chooses not to. Time will teach her to do it. Don't worry. In time, everything will change. But I have to say, whenever I say this, people are like, well, you're not allowed to get free healthcare if you don't pay like your taxes in Canada. Here's what I know. She continues to get free healthcare and has continued to get free healthcare whenever she has visited Canada. I'm sure she will continue to. And that in and of itself is why she should be in Canada, because she has a lot of health problems. I mean, honestly, I just don't even know what to say at this point. You did all of that. For years, I said that she was making a giant mistake being in Kuwait and she needs to be back in Canada. And now she is. And she's never going to see her husband, not in any real capacity. My husband, not in any real capacity that you did before, cutie. And here's why. Okay. If he could move to Canada, he would have by now. If he could have come with her to Canada, he would have by now. He's obviously not allowed to. So he's like, think about this arc. She's hiding out back in Canada, not to be deported. And by the way, you can't be deported from Canada to Kuwait. It has to be a crime that you committed that's like, basically illegal in both countries, and accepting donations is not illegal in Canada. That's why she's not going to be extradited, by the way. But so she can't go back to Kuwait, and neither can he. Think about how Foodie Beauty, with her, ignorance really of the law and continuing to say to her haters, no, I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be in trouble. Like, imagine how she has ruined this man's life. Now, he made his own choices, right? But I doubt that when he got with her, he thought that he couldn't even live in his adopted country of origin. Like, he came there. He came to Kuwait to live there, and now he can't even be there. Now he has to go and start a whole new life in a whole new country. By the way, unless she's lying and he's hiding out somewhere in Kuwait. In general, she is very vulnerable in Canada. She doesn't have her husband anymore. You mark my words. Even if she does see him once a year or whatever, he's not going to stay with her. Chantal, he's not going to stay with you. Okay, realistically, you need to be dating and you need to move on with your life if you want that, obviously, or just stay by yourself, whatever. I don't care either way. But this man is not for you. You have really affected his life in a negative way, and he's clearly affected your life in a negative way. But she's super, 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 super vulnerable in Canada. She doesn't have him to protect her. She is by herself. She's unhinged. Everybody wants a Canada arc because that's where she is super vulnerable to drama. When I say she's vulnerable, I mean to drama. Don't worry, the crash outs are coming, the drama's coming. And the other thing is that, so she got, whatever, more views than regular on her, on Back to Canada live stream. But now slowly it's going to trickle down and it's going to be average views. Once the surprise and the happiness that she's back in Canada wears off, no one's going to care again. Unless you provide the drama, Chantal, okay? Because your 30,000 views are going to wear off to 20, to 10, to 5. It's all coming back, darling, because you have to continue to entertain people. You have to bring the drama. If you want even a sliver of the money you used to make, you need to bring the drama. And she was saying in her live stream, of course, oh, my haters and congratulators, they're so wild. They want to see me in jail. Yeah, you break laws. Moving right along. So she says she's getting a new cat. Yes. Hans Christian Amberlynn and Foodie Beauty could be the same person. So she says she's getting a new cat. So let's just think about this. You couldn't take care of BBJ. You couldn't take care of Sam. You can't take care of Julia. You adopted a cat there that now is with Salah permanently, and you're never going to see her again. So now she's getting another cat, and she said that the cat is on the way, so that makes me think she didn't even adopt her. It's a wonderful time to be alive, girls. Okay, so what she says in her, I'm back, stream is that she says, oh, a lot of people say I'm like an animal mistreater, but I'm not. It was just that one thing with BBJ with the nails. Okay, first of all, and she says, oh, well, BBJ's nails got too long because I wasn't there. That's not true. It was a blatant lie. You knew that her nails were long for a long time. If only that was the only infraction. She had UTIs. Her teeth were in a lot of trouble. She had a lot of teeth issues. She had UTIs. She had excrement stuck to her. Please, you need to stop. You just need to stop while you're ahead. You are, just like your friend over there, you are an animal mistreater. Why do animal mistreaters obsess over getting cats? I wish somebody could explain that to me. The audacity to come on there and be like, oh my God, I need to get another cat. So the cat is on its way. I mean, you're right. Nothing could go wrong with there. I don't know. It's sad that people that want to mistreat animals always want more. Terrible. Another one where we can't stop her from getting animals. Don't worry, Chantal. You're going to rehome this one too. Terrible. A person that cannot take care of herself is going to be seriously taking care of another cat. The thing is, all the bad things that you did to BBJ, all the bad things you did to Sam, and you now took another cat that can't even be with you, Julia. When will you stop getting cats? Why don't you figure out how to take care of yourself first and then get cats? Let me put it to you in a simpler way. This person doesn't understand that she's going to need air conditioning, but she can take care of a cat. Do you understand the absurdity of not having AC but still getting a cat? You're not going to be able to survive without AC, Chantal. This is the amount of money that she made the other day in Super Chat. She made $111. Obviously, she made, more money on that first live stream. All right. 300 and something dollars. All right. Listen, this is the bottom line. Because it's I think it's 200 for one day, 100 and something. This is a math channel. Look, here's the point. All of this is going to go bye-bye if you don't ASAP bring the drama. Now that you're vulnerable to drama because you're without your fake husband. I mean, no one will ever get the satisfaction of this woman coming on YouTube and saying, I made a mistake. This man is not for me. He's a cheetah. I should have stayed in Canada with my best friend Pete's. Her and Pete's should have lived together forever in perfect they would have been perfect for each other as roommates and friends. By the way, I don't believe that Chantal can live on her own. She says this is the first time I've ever lived on my own. I think she's going to need help. I don't think she could really live on her own. Remember, Pete's used to help her. Now your family's going to be helping her. Her best bet is to move in with Pete's, although I really don't want that for Pete's because she's also like really dismantled his life. If you don't know, she put him in debt. Does the fun ever start? Anyways, now that you're back in Canada, work on yourself, work on your health. Probably none of that is going to happen. And stop thinking that you're in a relationship with this man. He's probably the happiest he's ever been, that he can move on with his life. All right. Thoughts, comments, dislikes, leave them in the dislikes down below. I want to thank you all so very much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for spending some of your time with me. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments down below. Check out this other video that's popping up here. And I will see you next time. Thanks so much for being here. Bye.